Hello, everybody. This is Equestria Talk, and we're here with Mr. John Lancie for an interview today. And we want to thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. John Delancey.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And was the Crony documentary your idea, or did you have help from other people?
Well, I mean, the Brony documentary was actually Mike Brokoff's idea, who was the executive producer of it. He came to my house for dinner on the same day that I discovered that such a thing as bronies, and I was telling him about it, and he said, "Well, didn't we do a documentary?" And at first, I said no, but after a couple of weeks of persistence on his part, I said yes.
When did you begin? And then you start here.
Yeah. When did you begin voice acting?
Voice acting? Oh,
Or just, acting?
Well, acting. I was 14.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
That's impressive. That's a long time.
Brony documentary. Alright. So how long did the Brony documentary take to make everything?
Well, we started in May, and we released it a week ago. So I don't know how long that is. What is it? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So that's 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. For all the...
That's very quick. I mean, most documentaries of this sort take 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys...
And the only documentary I've ever seen besides this one was The Cove, and that one wasn't exactly. I mean, it's good, but I just couldn't watch it.
Right.
Okay. What was the first thing that you thought about bronies? Like when you heard about them?
Well, I mean, I went through the same thing that the documentary goes through, and which is, I thought, well, there's got to be something really wrong with 20-year-old guys watching a cartoon intended for 10-year-old girls.
What cutie mark from the show really stands out to you? Do you think?
What? Say that again.
What cutie mark from the show do you think stands out to you most?
I'm just losing the first word. What segment? Is that the word you're using? Segment?
No, we're asking what pony has a cutie mark that stands out the most to you?
Well, I don't know. We just have a really lousy connection, so I'm just not getting it. But I think that what you're asking is what part that I like the most. So I'm going to answer. I'm going to pretend that's the question. I like Daniel's story a great deal. I think it's very, it's very interesting. I get very much attached to him. I like all of the stories. Alex's story and Lyle's and what have you. But Daniel's story has something about it which is I really think that he sort of traveled the furthest distance in the film of anybody.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What do you think was the hardest part about what is the hardest part about playing the role as Discord?
Well, that's there is no really hardest part. I mean, it's sort of easy. I mean, that's why I'm a professional actor. It's easy or easier, and so I don't think of it as being difficult at all.
All right. Well, let us be worded then. What is the most interesting part of playing Discord?
Well, I think the part that most people enjoy the most, and it is fun to do, it has to do with just him being naughty. He's just sort of a naughty guy.
Is a guy who likes causing chaos.
Yep, pretty much.
Right, right.
Okay. So, what was the most difficult part of making the Brony documentary?
The most physical part?
No, the most difficult part. I'm sorry.
Like the hardest part.
Most difficult part? Well, the most difficult part is that after you send all of these crews out, to New York and South Carolina and Maine and Israel and Germany and blah 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 blah, San Diego and Los Angeles or what have you. You then have to sit there and you have to watch all this stuff, and it takes 2 or 3 weeks just to look at everything.
Wow.
8 hours a day just looking at it and going, okay, well, we could use that. And, no, that doesn't. You sort of you have to. You go out to shoot what you think is the story, then you shoot what is taking place, and then you come back and you take a look and you go, well, do we really have a story here? And what is it? And it's so much stuff that I don't know how to describe it. It would be let's just imagine. You come back and the garage now is filled from floor to ceiling, and you can hardly step into the garage. And what you have to do is start pulling everything apart and going, okay, I found a tire here. Now, do we have an axle? And oh no, there's no axle, but we do have something else. We got some rope. Oh well, we could make a swing out of that. And it's very, very free flow and sometimes very frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds really time consuming.
Trying to find everything that fits together just perfectly would. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. So, what were your first thoughts when Hasbro came to you and asked if you wanted to play a Discord in My Little Pony?
Well, Hasbro didn't come to me. It doesn't work that way. A person who I don't even know who it was called up my agent and said, we would like to hire John to do My Little Pony. And I didn't know what My Little Pony was. So I said, well, why don't you send me the script? And I saw a little bit of the script, and I went, oh, this is well written. And people there. And that was it. That's the extent of my interaction, and that would be at the very bottom of the chain. So usually one never hears from those people again. Everybody's very nice with each other, but it's an hour's worth of work on my part, maybe 2 hours, let's say, on my part the night before to kind of prep it and to understand what I'm doing, and then an hour or two in the sound booth, and then that's it. It's the end of the story. Never to be thought of again.
Did you already? Oh, okay.
No,
yeah. Sorry. Our minds aren't exactly right now. If you could say something to the bronies right now, what would it be?
Oh.
Oh, I don't know. You know.
It's just a question we got. Let's asking if you could give them a shout out.
I like what you're doing, and if you and to help us, we need to be able to get this out to a larger, to the general public. Is mostly what we need to do.
Well, yeah, I know. I've been seeing a lot of it over Twitter and YouTube. People giving the documentary shout outs and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a misconception and an understandable one, but it's still a misconception, and that is that most people think that $320,000 is a fortune in terms of making a documentary. Well, that happens to be the number that most documentaries come in at. I mean, professional documentaries. That's just about the right number. The other misconception is that they say, well, we, the community, have already paid for the documentary, so we should be able to download it for free. Well, no, it's actually the people who contributed to the documentary who have paid for the documentary, and they have gotten many things, not the least of which is the documentary. So the people who are just willy-nilly downloading it are not in that group. And then the third thing, which is the most unfortunate about all of this, is that to be taken seriously about being a brony, it's not about telling each other. It's about telling the world at large.
Oui.
And this documentary goes a long way. It won't be the last one, hopefully. But as the first one, the first major one, it goes a very long way in legitimizing being a brony. The problem is that it has to get onto the big major sites like the Netflix and the big distribute and what have you. And if they take a look at and believe me, they don't really care about whether there's goodness or not goodness attached to their decision. They care what numbers are. So if they look at the official site and say, oh, there are only 4,000 people who purchased this, and then they look at the and then from there they can make determinations that there have been 10,000. They'll go, well, I don't know. This is already out in the market. How are we going to benefit from this? And that'll be the end of it. And that's really too bad, because if we could show them large sales that they then take over, they would be inclined to have it in the Netflix world. But if they have a feeling that it's just can be found ubiquitously everywhere, they're just going to go, well, yeah, it's a good documentary. It's very interesting, guys, but we're not in the business. We're in business. We're not in anything else. So that's sort of where we are right now, and we don't know how the community will react to that, but that's what the realities are.
Yeah. And I highly doubt that this will be the last one. I'm sure a lot of people will make a lot more documentaries. All right. So far, you have the voice story, the Raven. Do you have any more that you're working on?
No, I'm not.
All right, but well, we're gonna have to wrap it up for that.
Yeah, that was our last question.
Okay. Well, nice talking to you, and good luck, and